Okay, so this is going to be a very quick open discussion on consciousness. We don't have a long time. Let's start. I'll probably cut that out. Who would like to start off this discussion on consciousness? I know we have a lot of different directions to come at it.
Why does he imply it's an illusion?
You actually have a question for the speaker, for that guy?
Well, I mean, that was his main thing, right? That was the whole point. So
No, yeah, I know. We're not really discussing what that guy said. It was just a way to have an introduction to.
I'll discuss something he said and add it together.
Okay,
Like,
go ahead.
Okay, I think therefore I am. He's talking about Descartes' statement. That was the first one. And that's been called an error by Eckhart Tolle because it's I am, therefore I am. I exist, therefore I am. And then he changed it to maybe as I feel, therefore I am. That's also incorrect. And the feeling of why does it hurt if you touch the cactus? You can look on a cellular level and study the central nervous system, and then you know why the cactus hurts. And you can study the signals in the brain and the neurotransmitters that are released and how it gets to the brain. So you know why. So it was just kind of, I mean, science knows that. You're saying we don't know why, so I'm not quite sure.
I think what he was saying was, even though science can find the link between the stimulating the nerve cells on the end of your finger, and you can find the brain firing in a specific pattern, there's no, from a philosophic perspective, there's no real connection between the matter and the consciousness.
Ah, I see. They can't find the link between the amness, beingness of an individual.
actually, it's not that. It's more simple. It's actually very simple. We know that there are neural correlates to everything we feel, to everything we see, right? There are some, like if I prick my finger on a thorn, like it's gonna, like there will be neural correlates that will correspond, right? And then there is a feeling of pain. Neural correlates are material, right? We can measure them, but there is nothing material to the pain.
You can count the number of receptors that are receiving.
Yes,
number of
yes. But you can. How do they ooze out pain?
I think that's what he was trying to say.
You got to think the pain, the sensation itself is not material. It belongs. You see, you can count it. It has nothing to do.
The mind is registering and calling it
nothing to do.
sensation
Right.
pain. And the sensation, how we even
All
recognize
the receptors, everything that is material. But at the end, there is this gap, and there is an immaterial phenomenal experience arising.
Yeah, okay.
And that's the explanatory gap that he's talking about. It's an explanatory gap. Like there is something immaterial, right? Like our thought is not material. It's we know that there are neurons firing, but at what point, like there is one neuron firing, makes another neuron firing. There is no thought yet. And then it makes a third neuron firing. There is no thought yet. Makes a fourth neuron firing. There is no thought yet. At some point, this whole system oozes out a thought. Can you quantify that thought? Like to this neuron firing or right? Like
I suppose you could. It causes a reaction with the cells. And the cells change, and maybe
but that's you still diminishing, like reducing that to something
still
material.
causing some pain. Yeah, I'm trying to reduce this.
Right. So I think what he was.
The point is that the phenomenology, as defined in philosophy, is nothing material. The color is not material. There's nothing material to colorness.
Color.
I think what he was trying to ask also was, how is it that our brain tricks us or fools us, or why have we evolved to have the ability for our brain to trick us into having senses?
Don't forget about classic conditioning, because you can associate something with pain, like ringing a bell or something, getting food, etc. And eventually your mind will feel the pain before it actually happens, just by the signal. You're going to experience this, and your mind does.
Right, well, because maybe through conditioning it is made to create neural correlates, right? It will just create that, and it will make us feel that pain.
So that part is an illusion.
It's an illusion, right? Because the neural correlates don't necessarily only correspond to external stimuli. But still, that's not what we're talking about. So neural correlates for pain can correspond to external stimuli, which usually happens, but it can also correspond to internal stimuli, and we can have an illusion that we're experiencing pain. But what he says is that in both cases are illusion. That's the explanatory gap between the phenomenal, this is what the sensations that we experience, that we cannot materialize. There's nothing material
I guess you could say that. There's a lot of people who meditate and they can take away their pain. Are they manipulating part of their cells, the material part, or are they just actually convincing themselves otherwise? You know, some people can.
Either way, the problem still stays.
Yeah, it's an illusion.
The duality problem, the explanatory gap still stays.
So why do you think we? Sorry, were you about to say something?
Yeah, okay, maybe it's not very relevant, but you can keep the question. So, because since he started with the I think therefore I am, Descartes. So we come back to Descartes' problem now from a philosophical perspective. The connection of the body and the soul, right, of our existence. He had the problem with that, so do you think that this is repeating the same problem? Like when we're talking about this, like we have a material sensation, but then should I say material sensation or
Yeah.
some matter, okay, and then sensation, which is not material, right?
Right.
But they are related to each other. Does it matter somehow?
Yeah.
I don't know how,
Yeah.
or do we?
So he said
no,
we don't know
how do
the
we
actual
why?
mechanism of that illusion.
Yeah.
Right?
So still, the problem still stays from Descartes until now, if we would agree about it.
Yes, if Descartes related to the soul as the actual experiencer of everything that is phenomenal.
Yeah.
And then how does that experience of everything that is phenomenal, which is not quantifiable, it's completely subjective, like pain or like thought or like
Yeah.
pleasure, like
And then
happiness, like everything that's
and
immaterial,
if we-
unmaterial, that you cannot really, and how do you connect that to the actual material aspect, to the actual neural correlates, to the actual receptors, to the hormones, to the endorphins, to the dopamines, to the serotonin levels, intake, uptake, and everything there, which stays. And how do we connect those two?
You
So
can
that's
only,
sorry.
no, it's okay. You can only see a correlation between how much is released of something and the feeling, the intensity of the feeling.
Yes, and we can. Neuroscience knows that. I mean, in a way, they're always connected. That it's undeniable that when you put anesthesia in a person, they go to sleep. When you give them some kind of drug, they get happy.
Yeah.
When it's undeniable that there is
Yes,
a
is that
strong
a subject
connection.
of neuroscience to discover how these things work?
Yes,
Because you mentioned, okay, you put anesthesia, you know it works, even you don't know how it works, you know it works, right?
right.
Because we take pills for headaches, for example, and we know that after we take the pill, our headache will stop, although we don't know how the pill works. So
Right.
we don't need to be scientists to know how the pill works to help us, right?
But someone had to figure out.
Someone has to figure out, yeah, those who made the pill, they know how it works.
Yeah, but that duality, that debate is definitely. I think you can retract it all the way to Descartes
Yeah.
about. And of course, there are a lot of explanations. So today, some philosophers are like basically reducing that to something material, and basically like this is just an illusion, but illusion that came up for a certain purpose.
And then at the end he finishes with
I
feel, therefore I am, which is a total fallacy.
changed it.
Yeah, because according to Descartes, if you say I feel, you can also be deceived that you feel. That was, if you remember the last week.
Huh.
Whatever you do, like I eat, therefore I am, is a fallacy. I walk, therefore I am, is a fallacy.
I think what he was trying to say is just that senses are more
Yeah, okay,
sometimes
anyway,
real
maybe
to us than
that's not the
thoughts.
point, but philosophically speaking, I mean, from the Descartes argument, if you look, the only true sentence is I think therefore I am.
He did open
I
his
think
speech
can be
with that.
also you can be
So you
deceived.
see, that's the thing. Like, I think that because maybe Descartes was bind by a certain definition of what soul is through Christianity. And when they say I feel therefore I am, I think because I think he's reductionist, so he's materialist, and Eckhart Tolle is not, right? He's more on the spiritual side. But what I think they both might refer to is that they're referring more to a beingness, to some kind of awareness. If you feel, there is awareness that feels that.
Yeah, I know.
Therefore, that awareness is. You cannot deny that there is awareness of that particular emotion arising.
Yeah, it reminds me of a joke. It says like, if one morning you wake up and nothing hurts you, you're dead. So as long as the pain is there, you're still alive.
John said something interesting a number of months ago, maybe it was a year ago or more. He said that pain is underlying everything, and like if our dopamine producers didn't work, we would just feel constant pain.
Huh,
I
really?
think he was coming at it from like some conversation that he'd had with somebody back when they were doing heroin or something.
Even if that's the case, it must have some reason for it, if that's the case. But if that's the case, there must be a reason for it.
Right. I personally, it didn't make any sense to me. But speaking of reasons, why?
There is an illness where people cannot feel pain. Like there is a genetic syndrome where people don't feel pain. And they can die really fast, especially when they're kids, because they don't feel pain. If they don't feel pain, like, oh, my hand is broken. Oh, you know?
But now let's try to think about what would be the evolutionary advantage to having consciousness? Not sure if that's a good question.
Right, because the only thing that makes sense is to have neural correlates functioning back and forth. Like, why would they come up with this illusion that somebody's in control? And then why would they come up with this illusion that somebody's in there?
Now you two go back over there. Or I'm going to shut off the video, and then we'll just be paying to eat here.
Say that again, please.
Why would they come up with the illusion that there is somebody inside there experiencing things?
Right, that's what he was asking.
Right?
Why would who say?
So why consciousness exists is an evolutionary. What is the evolutionary reason, purpose? I think what he's asking is that what is the evolutionary purpose of consciousness to exist?
I think he was trying to answer it from the perspective of like having children. So like any animal that raises their child and protects their child must have some level of consciousness.
Right, they feel something. So to feelings there is a certain evolutionary, not certain, but there is a evolutionary role to feelings.
So it's almost as if this evolution of what we call consciousness didn't necessarily evolve because we talked about it and said, hey, we need to have more children that are more conscious, but it's just like as a necessity of having to live in a group and protect the children that consciousness sort of arose. Maybe.
Well, we're a pretty complex species. And you can take a slug and then you can sprinkle salt, which is really cruel, so you can sprinkle salt on one part and it'll recoil. So obviously it's feeling pain, but it's not really, it's reacting it's a reflex action.
But then where where, I mean, if you put sensors on a robot, let's say we make an advanced robot, with sensors to feel pain, to protect offspring, and to multiply, it has these programs in a way, it will still work in that way. So, I mean, I don't think that's what we're talking about.
I think the
about sentience.
We're talking about sentience,
Yeah.
and we're talking about, but in the robot there is no really beingness. In other words, there's no semantics. There's only syntax.
Programmed and
Programmed.
that is the only.
Right, and we can apply that to animals and to the slug and everything. There are programs for survival, genetically transduced,
It's a little bit more to my cat than, I think my cat has her feelings than just responding with a slug.
No, I understand. I understand, like, and I'm not saying that they don't have, but I think what he's implying is basically all of what we said about reproduction. It's important for evolution to have feelings and blah, blah. Fine. It's important to have sensors. It's important to have the programs and for looking for food, procreating, multiplying, maintaining, right? We don't need to learn to teach a cat how to jump, how to hunt. It's ingrained within their structure, and as they develop, like their brain just starts shooting everything right. It implements the programs, and they just act upon those programs, and that's it. Like it's their programs, their sensors, and everything. All of that can be reduced to syntax.
So do you think there's
syntax, like a computer syntax, with sensors, like sophisticated computer syntax with sensors that work and implement.
is there a DNA code for consciousness?
Well, there's definitely DNA codes for hunting and for looking for food and procreating and everything. You don't need to look at every animal and its development. There's definitely DNA code for that.
A cat is making a jump, and the cat will say, okay, I want to go that way, I'm just going to jump. And then it just tries and jumps. It doesn't think about it. But a human might say, okay, I want to make this jump from here to here. And then they might question themselves, like, can I make the jump? You know, it's kind of far, and then fear might take over.
But animals can also question their jumps.
I guess you're right, they kind of think about it. Not,
Maybe
they still do it. They still do it.
Jumps. That's can be just. I don't think they're robots, but I'm just arguing on the syntax side now, which I don't agree with. But
Right.
I'm arguing because that's the reductionist side. That's like a robot, not really thinking about a jump, just making an estimation.
The robot doesn't think about the jump as we do. We think, are we able to do it? The robot thinks like, my capabilities are, or make me be able to do this jump or not be able to do this jump.
Right.
The robot
It just makes
doesn't
sense.
think.
Right.
Yeah, it just
Yeah,
makes
yeah,
a decision,
that's the way-
calculation.
It's
Okay,
just
yeah. That's the little,
right. But
that's
there
the
is nothing
thinking.
there. There is nothing there. It's a
Right.
But the cat, there's something there, but it already has made the calculation as well. I can do this jump.
right. Well, from your
Sometimes
scientific
it's-
perspective, there is nothing there in the cat as well.
From a scientific perspective.
From neuroscience perspective,
from your
it's just a
I think there's
sophisticated bundle of neurons, receptors, and genetically implemented programs that develop, and that's it. You disrupt those programs, the cats will not develop as properly. There is nothing there. That's the thing. That's why he says it's an illusion. That's why he says it's an illusion. Philosophers say, oh, there is this explanatory gap. But he says, what if there is no explanatory gap? Maybe just an illusion. We just get confused like that triangle that he pointed. We think it's a triangle, impossible triangle, but actually when we see the real situation, we see, oh, that was never a triangle in the first place. It's just an illusion. So what he says is, what if pain, everything that's immaterial, everything that's qualia, the philosophers of mind use the word qualia, all the raw sensations, and then there is mentalia, the mental. What if the qualia is just an illusion? What if just because we kind of live in this triangulation of brain something and just create this illusion that there is qualia, that there is sensation. And you can take it further, we live with the illusion that we're somebody who is in some form of control. But actually there is nobody there.
Isn't that samsara?
Why is that samsara?
No? Am I getting that wrong? Is it the wrong word?
Well, the illusion that he speaks about is a little bit different from the illusion that is being talked about in the East, in Buddhism and Hinduism, the samsara and the Maya. He's talking about a different types of illusion. He says, what if we just, everything that's sensational that appears, it just appears there because of some kind of triangulation there, for which evolutionary purpose maybe we just need, and the mechanisms, we just need to figure out why are they there. And he says maybe he's confident that neuroscience will at some point soon catch up once we start asking the right questions. That it's not just a sensation. What if it's just an illusion, some kind of neural triangulation that just created this freak of nature that we call it consciousness? Because consciousness is not the receptors. It's not the neural correlates. It's not none of that. The consciousness is just awareness of awareness. I'm aware that I'm aware.
Yeah. It's
I'm aware of awareness. It's just, when we did aware of I'm aware, there is this colorness that arises, there is this shapeness that arises, there is this touchness that arises. All of that arises
something
within
there
this,
before the thinking,
right?
before the question.
And thoughts arise from within it. So he says, maybe all of that is just some kind of
an illusion. But
Yeah.
what about it being something more like something spiritual? Like the soul before the material.
right. So that's the other camp.
But he didn't go to that
The-
camp.
Well, he
Those are
did
some-
actually. He did. He said it all seems to point to some spiritual
Oh, yeah.
sense of spirituality.
But then he says it's probably an illusion. So he doesn't basically. I don't think he.
Well,
Well, he's a scientist.
Right.
may I ask you
Right.
something? Okay, obviously I know more about it. Any of us. Why it has to be illusion?
Oh, well, that's what he says.
Why? Yeah, but why do you believe that it's illusion? Maybe you just don't know it yet. You know?
Yeah.
So it's something you don't know, you think it's an illusion.
Yeah.
Maybe
Just
hopefully
because we
the
haven't
future
figured it
science
out.
will figure out
Right. Magic
what's
is a
there.
sense
So
of the future.
is it possible that it's not illusion? It's just we don't know how it works.
Right.
Like the old saying, if you lit a match
Yeah.
in caveman days, you think it was magic and illusion. Wow, you created a
Yeah.
fire just from
Yeah.
striking a match. We just haven't figured out, they haven't figured out how to do that yet.
Is the science going to state that it's illusion? Is it? Do you understand my question?
Well,
Maybe I think clear.
well, for right now, I think there's the mainstream of neuroscience and the mainstream of philosophy of mind does take the point of view that that really what we experience as ego is mostly just a fake thing, that we're not really even in control. There's just this illusion of control, and everything there is just neural programs running and firing, and and creating some kind of phenomenal experience. And somebody's writing on that phenomenal experience, but even the writer itself is
Yeah.
not
About
real.
about the theory that there is no soul, it's all material.
Yeah.
The thoughts are material,
Yes.
feelings are material.
Well, they're not material.
Yeah, but there are some who think it's all material, right?
Right. According to if you ask a biologist, or a
Right, and what he
chemist,
says is that we think they're not material, but it's just this sort of illusion that we think it exists. But even his question implies an inherent flaw. Just asking that implies just a very inherent flaw. Just the whole debate is flawed. Like what if it's an illusion? Who's asking that it's an illusion? Who is the awareness asking that if I am an illusion? That
I.
Right.
That's
Right.
The Descartes' answer. Again, it's I who is asking.
Right, there is the I, and if that I is an illusion itself, and realizes that it's an illusion,
But
it's just a real concept, like,
realizing-
why does it exist?
realizing means that it exists.
But then what? No, you
Since
can realize
realizing-
it's I, you can
There must be someone who realizes. There must be someone who thinks.
I think some philosophers live with, let's say they have made peace with themselves, and that I that they experience and is just fake, and it doesn't exist. It's just a neural, some kind of neural construct, illusion of things, but that doesn't really exist, and they have made that peace with themselves, and they don't really.
Who are those philosophers?
Oh, you can famous when Thomas Metzinger.
And
He's
was
been
it?
to Taiwan. Well, that the I, that the ego, that the sense of self is false.
Okay, I know this is too short, you know, this must be a more complex argument.
But everything is connected, right? With the sense of self, with the arising of the qualia, with the arising of mentalia, and all of that is on one side of the explanatory gap. And then on the other side of the explanatory gap is the receptors, the dopamines and the serotonins and the neural connections and neural correlates. All of that is on the material side. So the material guys say, what is that on the other side? It's not really on the other side. It just looks to be on the other side. But there is nothing on the other side. That's what he's asking. There is nothing on the other side. There is this self-perpetuated, created deceit of there is something phenomenal that exists. This is what the guys on the material side of the explanatory gap are saying.
Is there any more green tea up there?
Yes.
Okay.
Is it possible? Is it even possible that matter can create consciousness, or is consciousness something that supersedes matter?
Right. Well, that question is still open.
But I don't see how neuroscientists could ever solve that. I mean, it's like, I remember somebody saying, like, if you keep peeling the onion over and over and over again, trying to find what's at the center, is you really going to find, like, you know, they were searching for the God particle, right? Or are they going to find this particle that is written on it, consciousness? Hey, I'm the one that does it. You found me.
Well, those are questions with no definite answers.
Do we need to watch a little?
No?
Do we need to watch another little video to get us our minds jump started?
Maybe, as you mentioned, can matter create consciousness? How about this? Okay, maybe I'm wrong, but it just came to my mind. Like procreation. Like when the sperm
Hey, Joe?
is matter, it's not conscious. If we agree it's not conscious, so maybe someone will say, the sperm is also conscious.
You say it's fine.
Is this in a way matter creating consciousness?
That's another.
Because the sperm is matter,
There
the
has
bone
to be
is
matter
matter without
matter
consciousness.
aligning in a certain way in order for anything to operate properly. But it can all be formed, I think, more like consciousness is making the matter, not matter is making the consciousness. I think consciousness is the first.
Okay, this is how I think matter creates consciousness. How do you think consciousness creates matter?
Because I think everything's energy. It's just
That's
energy.
not good enough.
And energy is signals and
So
waves.
maybe it's like a vibration.
Everything is. It's not solid. That's not
Consciousness is
solid.
a
We're not
vibration.
solid. Nothing's solid. Atoms aren't solid. Molecules aren't solid.
Consciousness